All right, let's look at how to put in definite integrals into your TI-NSpire. The model I'm using right now is the TI-NSpire CX-CAS. However, the input is the same for non-CAS versions. So let's start with number one. And first thing you need to know is how to open up the antiderivative template. And there are three ways to do that. First one is to hit Menu, go to Calculus, and choose Integral. And you'll see it pops up a template where you can input the fields for your definite integral. The other option, you can hit this button next to the 9 right here. And on the far right side, you will see an integral template right there. And the third option, which is my favorite because it's the quickest, if you hit Shift plus, it is a hidden keyboard shortcut for antiderivatives. And once you open up that template, you simply fill in the fields. So we'll do 1 plus x, 1 to the 5th, and then it's x to the 3rd power. And on the inspires, make sure you exit the exponent, because if you don't, your minus 3x will be caught up there in the exponent. So you need to go up here and arrow out of that, hit minus 3x, dx, fill in that x right there, hit enter, and you have your answer for number one. The other three here, I'm putting up here simply because putting these in the calculator can be tricky if you don't speak the calculator's language. So let's look at number 2 here. We're going to go from 0 to pi over 2, tab down to the function field, and it is x sine x. So I'm going to type in x sine x just like that, and this will not work because I am not speaking the calculator's language. When we see this in a calculator, a human can look at that and understand that this is x times the sine of x. But the calculator, when it sees a string of letters, it sees it as one command. So the calculator is really confused because it doesn't know what the function xn is. So we have to separate the x from the sine. And so one of the options to do that, you may be thinking, is how about we just put the sine in parentheses? And if I put parentheses there and I hit enter, now it says invalid implied multiply, another error. Because in the calculator, if you hit x or any letter followed by an open parentheses, the calculator will read that as a function, like f of something. So now the calculator is trying to figure out what is x of sine x, and the calculator does not know what the function x is, so it's really confused. And so we will fix this. Let me clear that out. We will fix this by simply putting a multiplication dot between the x and the sine. And if you look at the letters for sine, you'll notice that without that dot, they're italicized. With the dot, they are not. And so letters that are not italicized are recognized by the calculator as a function. And the calculator obviously knows what sine x is, and I can hit enter and get my answer. So let's look at this third one here. Another potential mistake here, if I hit shift plus and I do the integral from 1 to 5 of e to the x squared, so e to the x squared dx, and this should give me some kind of an error. Yeah, so it's just spitting it right back out. And again, we have made a mistake. And when you are using e as the number, 2.71828 and all the rest, you do not use the e from the keyboard. What you want to do is use instead the e right here next to the 1. Whoops, I need to get out of the limit of integration. Tab down. It's e to the x squared, like so, dx. Now when I hit enter, I will get an answer, quite a large answer, and it approximated it too, gave me decimals. So there's how you use the exponential function. The e to the x function is not the e from the keyboard, it's the e over here next to 1. And then finally, the function sine squared of x could also create some problems because, again, as humans, if I write down sine squared x as it is written in this Word document right here, we humans can read that and know exactly what it means. So we hit sine x and say, oh, I'll just back up here and I'll put the exponent right here. That seems to make sense, but the calculator will be very confused when you do that because we have interrupted the sine function. We have put a command right in the middle of what the calculator recognizes as a sine function, and it confuses the calculator. So to fix that, all we have to do is put that exponent over here after the parentheses around the argument for sine, after your angle. If you want to put an extra set of parentheses to make yourself feel better, you can put parentheses there and there. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Let's go down. There, so if you want to wrap the whole thing in parentheses, you could do that as well. That's not necessary, but some people just feel better that way. Hit enter, and you get pi over 6 minus root 3 over 8. And this brings me to my very last point, and that is that after putting it in, if you want an approximation rather than the exact answer, then you can hit Control, Enter, and Control Enter. If you look above the Enter button, you see the blue squiggle approximate symbol. That will give you your decimal approximation for definite integrals.